Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. I'm a little late, almost 10 minutes late today. I had technical issues. I was missing some cords. I don't know what happened, but they're all here and everything's working. I hope. Knock on wood, say a prayer. Um, Thank you all for being here. If this is your first time, my name is Leslie Benson. I am the founder of the Plaid Poodle Paper Crafting Company, and I teach people how to make fun, pretty paper crafts. Hi, Loopy. Good to see you today. Make sure you say hello and where you're from. Hi, Donna, because I do draw names to mail the projects out to, and today's project is pretty fun. And we'll get to that in just a minute. I like to wait a minute to give people time to join us. If you're watching, I would love for you to hit the share button, and then it kind of notifies people that I'm on. Hi, Chris. I hope you're doing well. You were late too, Loopy. Well, I was scurrying around. I decided to make a pretty, well, I'll just go ahead and show y'all the project for today. Hi, Joy. It is a Z-fold card with a, I don't know if you call that a bridge. I forgot to look up the technical name for it. But it'll fold up, and we use the label dies to make it. It looks kind of, I thought it looked kind of like a tombstone maybe for Halloween. And then I used my little cat punch and made the little, there's a little lever there to have kind of a 3D card. So this is what we're going to make today. And I didn't realize I had this idea in my head, and coming up with the measurements and the score lines and everything for all of this was a little bit of a struggle. I wanted to show a card that Sue Masner sent me. Sue is my Mary Kay lady, but she's also a scrapper and a card maker, and she sent me this cute little card. I ordered some things from her. If you are looking for a Mary Kay lady, she is on point, and I would recommend her to you. So reach out to me if you need some of that. But I thought that was a cute little card. Okay. Don't forget the get and go. If you've ever thought about joining Stampin' Up, grabbing a kit, $99, you get $125 plus 2 stamp sets and materials to make 8, is it 8 cards? I think 8 cards. And then you also get a pack of rhinestone jewels on top of that. Yes, Sue does make absolutely gorgeous cards. And then the hostess code, which is, I always point the wrong way. There we go. Up in the top, I think it should be your right-hand corner. If you order from me and use that code this month, your name will go into a drawing for the Strong and Beautiful stamp set. It's got some really nice sentiments. We're always looking for good sentiment sets. Okay, to the project. I would call this maybe an intermediate or an advanced project, just because there were a lot of steps, and I had to invent it. So I'll have the instructions for you. I was not going off of instructions, so maybe it won't be that hard. I just had a time with the measurements to get it to fold proper to fit in an envelope and all that, but I did it. It is using the Celebration Tidings stamp set and labels bundle, which if you purchase these together, it's a 10% savings. And then I use the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper, 6x6 paper. My sample here used this black with the pumpkin pie, and it took 2 6x6 pieces. You'll have some leftovers to make the card. You'll have a few little strips of leftovers, but it took about 2 once we got the 2 labels and everything. The hardest part is making the card base, so we're going to make that together. That's, well, the hardest part I felt was figuring out the measurements for the bridge, but this is the more challenging part that takes a little bit of patience. But you're going to take a 5.5-inch piece by 8.5-inch piece of cardstock. I'm using basic black for my Halloween card, and then I'm going to score it at 4 1/4 in half to make the card base. Hope you all are having a great day. It's a beautiful day here in Kansas City, and I think we have some beautiful weather coming up, right? If you're in Kansas City, and I see a lot of you are. Okay, then I took from the label set the largest die. Wait a minute, not the largest die, the second to the largest die. And let me make sure. I just made this card. Yep. It's going to end up being a little smaller than a standard size card because we're going to put our die. See how I'm not putting it all the way on. I'm letting it hang off the folded side of my card base. And if you have any label dies, this would work. Or shaped dies, larger ones. So I'm going to leave it off so our fold doesn't go away. And then I'm going to use some, you can use some Post-it notes or blue tape. I'm just going to use some washi that I have. Get some of this sticky off. I find the basic black likes to stick to things. Okay, so once again, I'm hanging off the end. I got to pay attention to this little divot here. You don't want it to cut in, because we're going to cut out all this extra with our die cutting machine. I didn't have time to write down all the measurements, so I will have that posted later this afternoon over on my blog, theplaidpoodle.com. So if I don't give you an exact measurement, go over there later and look. I'm going to run this through several times because it's a stitched die. And the stitching is going to show up really well on the first layer, and it's just going to be kind of faint on the second layer because we're cutting through 2 layers of cardstock. I don't know if the camera would pick it up. There's the stitch. That's the first layer that was cut. And then, see, the camera's not picking it up, but you can see there's indentations. It didn't cut all the way through, but I was okay with that. Maybe it'll show on this one better. See there, you can see the little indentations here. These are cut all the way through. So that's the card base, and that would be cute all by itself and just add some layers of paper, and that would just be cute all by itself. But we're going to get all fancy. So I am taking a strip of, I wrote this part down. This is 1 1/4 by 7 inches. And I've scored it at 3 5/8. I've just made a little score mark. And and I've scored it at 5 3/16. So this is going to be our bridge on our card. But first we're going to cut out 2 pieces of designer series paper. This is the next smaller die. And we're going to use a different print this time because I only had 1 sheet of my black left. So we're using this other Halloween print. And I went ahead and cut them out already. So we used the second to the largest for the card base, this one, not the largest, and then we used the third from the largest for the designer series paper. Okay, and this is the mistake I made with the first one. So let me point out my mistake. So when you make one, you won't make the same mistake. I have a piece of there on the back because I adhered it to this side, thinking this was going to be the front of the card. But alas, this is the side that folds over. So this is going to be the front of the card. So don't make the mistake I did. Otherwise, you're going to have a fancy backing to your card. I told you I had issues today. I had this in my mind and I wanted to do it. I think this would be really cute as a Christmas card with maybe a Christmas tree popping up on that little inside layer. Thank you, Loopy. Thank you all for being patient with me. Okay, I propped it purposely up toward the top. It's not centered because this part is going to be covered by our bridge or whatever this part is called. I will look up the proper name for this card unless any of you know. When you add the little, it's a Z fold for sure, but it's got that added little bridge. Okay, now I'm going to score again. Oh, sorry. The center, right where this divot is, and this divot, I'm going to score, not cut. Don't make that mistake. Because we're going to fold that back. I think we're done with our trimmer now. Okay, so there's our little Z fold. Trying to get that in the camera. Now I'm going to add the bridge. So here's the piece of paper that this is 7 by 1 1/4, and I scored it at 3 5/8 and 5 3/16. And I also cut out some little strips of the designer series paper. I'm just going to dump all this so you guys don't hear the crinkling. To fit, these are 1 inch by whatever. Like I said, tune in to theplaidpoodle.com and the exact measurements will be there. I haven't made very many Halloween cards this year, so I put on my thinking cap and I thought I need to use that little black cat punch. I think this one goes here. This one goes here. Okay. I'm using multi-purpose liquid glue. It's a really strong glue, but I would suggest that use a really strong glue, either multi-purpose liquid glue or some kind of tear and tape or sticky strip. So what I'm going to do is I'm bringing it all the way down to, because the card basically rests on this bridge. So we want it just even with the bottom of this card or a little lower. So there's going to be a little bit that's hanging over. And I'm lining this edge up with this edge right here. Hi, Connie. You see how that's going to work now? I'm going to glue this other piece the same way over here. And it's going to go down to the base as well. It's kind of easier if I do it that way. So there's your little bridge. And then it allows you to fold the card. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, I went a little crazy today. I got a little glue there, but I'll get that off as soon as it dries. Okay, guys, that is the hardest part. Now there's a little platform that we're going to put in here, and that allows you to have kind of a second little thing going on. Like I said, at Christmas time, wouldn't it be fun to have a Christmas tree or a snowman and, you know, different kinds of things. So the little tab, this one is, I wrote it down here, 1 inch by 2 3/4, and then I scored it at 1/2 inch and 2 1/4 inch. So there's a 1/2 inch tab on each end. You see that? Now you're going to think that this is not going to fit, and it's going to drive you nuts and make you go crazy and scream. Because that's what it did to me. But it is going to fit. You just have to get it in there right. And it's awkward because you've already got this card. So what I did is I just held from the upside down position, and it'll fit right in there. It may not, like mine was pretty horizontal. It's pretty straight. And that's why you want to use the sticky strip or the tear and tape or the multi-purpose liquid glue, because you don't want all these working pieces to fall apart. So I just kind of would close it and hold it for a minute till all that really took. So that's the card base. So that didn't take us too long. What do you think? Do you all think you could do that? Okay, the stamping, I've got a little piece of pumpkin pie and the black memento ink. And I'm going to stamp this spider web thing from the stamp set. It's kind of a long embellishment. It would fit perfectly on these bigger. You see how it'll fit right there at the top of one of the dies. But I cut it. I didn't. I used the smaller die, and I think it looks fine. I've got the little spider web right there in the middle. I used a lot of the stamps in this stamp set. I'm really proud of myself. So I just put it in the middle here, and we're going to cut it out. Got a little woppy there, but that's okay because I already did it. Here, I didn't want to put my Happy Haunting on before I cut it out because I'm going to use the smaller die. I just wanted to make sure that my Happy Haunting was in the right spot, so I went ahead and cut it out first. And this Happy Haunting fits perfectly on this smaller die. This is the 4th from the largest die, so we've almost used all of the dies. Okay, and then I'm just going to adhere that to the inside. Now on this type of card, you could, I left a spot to sign, or you could just put a little piece of white on the back and put your greeting. Now that that's a little dry, I'm going to just see if that will come off. Okay, that's going to bother me. All right, all we have left is the little kitty and the spiders. So the cat, which Mary reminded me of your little cat, Erwin. But mine's a little girl because I put a necklace on her. And just punch that little guy out. Connie, this is a, I don't know what they call it. It's a goober remover. I bet you your sister could tell you. She would know right off her head what it is. Does anybody know the name of it? I'm just flipping through the Stampin' Up! Catalog and looking for it. It's just a little rubber stamp, Connie, or a little rubber thing that takes off dried adhesive really well. But I know Betty could hook you up because I'm sure she has one. I use that all the time, and then Donna Pollock, she gifted me with this, and this is awesome. If you guys have never tried Undo Gum Eraser, thank you, Loopy. It doesn't leave a film or anything. Like, I could have just dribbled some of this right on there, and it would have taken it off, and it would have dried and not left a greasy mess. You think it's going to look weird, but it's kind of magic. So I don't know where, Donna, you got this. If you're still on, could you comment where you found this Undo? It has saved my life more than once. Okay, we're going to put our little kitty on, but before that, I'm going to give her a little necklace. So I've got some of this baker's twine that is got some silver mixed in. It's illegal in California. Is that because people huff it or something? I d- I don't know. Walmart has it? Y'all, I can't find my adhesive. Amazon. Okay. So Donna found it at Amazon. Like I said, it has saved my life more than once. Okay, I'm just putting a little adhesive on the back of the little kitty cat to adhere her little collar. And I'm making it kind of loose because I want it to look like a little necklace. I'm going to add a little rhinestone. And Betty, I will post, I'm thinking of your sister, I will post what that eraser is after I get off here. I will look up the exact name, and if there's a link, I will include that. Sometimes my brain is dead, and today has been one of those days. It's been a doozy. I call it menopause brain, but it's probably just me. Okay, I'm using the largest rhinestone. I wanted her to have a really large carrot necklace. Plus it helps hold down that little piece of thread. If I can get it on there right. There we go. Isn't that cute? Okay, and then I put her on there with Stampin' Dimensionals. I just can't resist popping something up. That's surprising because all of the things that are legal in California, that adhesive remover would be illegal. Okay, that was a slam against California. I love California, but I don't know if I'd want to live there full time. There we go. I need to put a little drop of glue on there. Now, for my little pumpkin patch, I used this stamp. I said we were done stamping, but we weren't. And I just used the memento. You could probably do it on Whisper White and color it in with your Stampin' Blends. That would be pretty too. And then I just fussy cut this out. Actually, first I determined how much of it I had to cut away. Watch me make it too short. There we go. Perfect. That was perfect. So I'll measure this for y'all. This one is 1 7/8 inches. So I left the pumpkins in the center and then I just cut off the other parts. And then I fussy cut it out. Thank you, Loopy. I know you're a Halloween lover. I thought it turned out really sweet. It's not too spooky. Okay. And then I just put a little adhesive on the back of that. And tucked it right on that little bridge that we made. So there's a little pumpkin patch next to the little kitty. And then we've got a couple little spiders. And I just used a scrap of Whisper White and the Memento again. Loopy, every time I see those sugar skulls, is that what they're called? I think of you. I was at Michael's yesterday, and I thought of you. I always think of you when I see those. And then the die set has 2 dies for spiders. That's why I chose 2 instead of 3. I was rushed on time. We could have put one more little spider on there. How did I do that guy? I'll put him down there. And then I thought this little kitty needed a spidery friend. So I put one out here. There we go. That is the card. So I said it was probably for an intermediate or advanced, but now that I've got it figured out, I'm not sure that is the case. You would definitely need a die cutting machine if you wanted your card to be shaped, but you could also do this card just in a rectangle shaped and add the bridge to make your little 3D. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me. You're such a pleasure to talk to. Yep. I'd love to see it. You should take a picture and send it to me, Loopy. If you have any questions about what I did today, give me a shout out or leave a comment or message me. Like I said, I'll have all the little intricate measurements over on the blog later on today. So check out that, theplaidpoodle.com, for all of it. Love you guys. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.